I'm really surprised that it took me this long to watch this movie. Like before, guys, if you already haven't, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm also on Twitter and TikTok, so if you're on any of those platforms, please hook me up. Me and my friend had tickets to go see this in 4DX last week, but we got a little bit sidetracked in Soho. We wanted to see it in 4DX because we thought the effect would be absolutely amazing. Watching the trailer, it just seemed to be that kind of movie would just be amazing in 4D. But unfortunately, we kind of missed the viewing, and I had to watch it this weekend, so that's that story. But with Ghostbusters Afterlife, I really enjoyed it. It was definitely something that really took me back to the very first Ghostbusters movie. You know, it just had that kind of vibe to it. And normally with these remakes, they come off quite cheesy, but I actually thought this was really well produced. I thought the cinematography was amazing, the story was really good, and it was really emotional towards the end as well. I'll try and keep this review spoiler free because I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but it definitely does take you back to the original Ghostbusters, and that was just something really nice to see. The acting was really good as well, actually. It wasn't as cheesy as I thought it was going to be. You had McKenna Grace, she plays this girl called Phoebe, and she's kind of like this outcast. She's really into her science. She's moved into her grandfather's place with her mum and her older brother. She's only found out that her grandfather's died, so this is kind of like a new adventure for her. Her brother Trevor's played by Finn Wolfhard, and he's really good in this, actually. We all know and love him from Stranger Things, and it's really interesting how he's gone from Stranger Things to this, because it's pretty much the same kind of concept with ghost schools, that kind of thing, but he plays a really good character in this movie. I must admit though, you didn't see a lot of him in this movie. You even had Paul Rudd as well, and he was really cool in this. And again, you didn't really see that much of him, and I would have loved to have seen more of these characters as well. You know, the whole story was pretty much based around Phoebe, and she was actually really good. She really handled the film really well, I thought. I really enjoyed the story in this movie as well. I love how they incorporated the original story into this one, like what happened like years later. You know, it was really cool to see that. I like the fact that they brought in the Gozerian, the gatekeeper, the keymaster. I thought that kind of concept was really cool. And the effects was so similar as well. I mean, even though it's been like, what, 20 years? You'd think the effect technology would have vastly improved, but I kind of like the fact that it hasn't. You can obviously tell that the effects have changed, but I'm kind of glad that they kind of kept to the original kind of look of it as well, which I found really nice. I really don't want to spoil anything, but for anybody that hasn't seen this, I would definitely implore you to go see it, because it's not the kind of rip-off movie that can't stand on its own 2 feet. I honestly feel this movie does stand on its own 2 feet. I didn't actually like the remake that they did a couple of years ago, but this one really does stand on its own 2 feet. It really stuck to its originality, and I really like that in this movie, and I think for anybody to watch it would agree with me, and I think it's really cool how they've done that. It's definitely a cool movie. I mean, some of the scenes where they're chasing the ghosts and they're trying to capture them, some of those scenes were really cool. It does take them a while to get to that point. Like, I think the first half of the movie, they're just trying to introduce the characters to you, find out where they are, what they're going, who they actually are, you know. But it does take a lot of time to actually move on to the story. And I think it doesn't get into the last maybe 45 minutes that things do actually start going down. You know, it does get really intense. And, you know, I think that's what we want out of this movie. You know, it's definitely a slow burner, I find. Even the comedy in this, there's a lot of humour in this, and it was really fun to watch as well. You had this kid called Podcast, and he obviously has his own podcast, and he was teaming up with Phoebe to kind of stop all the ghosts. And some of the scenes where they're driving through the streets and all these gadget manoeuvres, you know, it just made me really go back to those original movies, you know, because it was just so cool to see. And I just really enjoyed it. You know, I can't really fault it. It was a little bit slow, but I did really enjoy this. I would probably watch it again. I would probably say I'd give this film maybe a 7 out of 10. Just because, you know, I mean, it definitely takes you back to those classic movies. You love them, you enjoyed them. And I think this film definitely gives that, you know. So I think in that respect, I think it would be definitely worth watching this. As always, guys, if you already haven't, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. If you've watched the movie, please comment below, let me know, and hopefully see you very soon. Take care, guys. Bye.